hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat nicht 3 Ecken, dann ist es nicht mein Hut.
The strange, the bizarre, the unexpected. These are the kinds of subjects a man named Robert L. Ripley challenged us to
believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not, you.
Wally, believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
Believe it!
You're a loony.
About 25% of Americans fall asleep before midnight on New Year's Eve. Believe it or not. Volcano surfing, also known as volcano boarding, is a sport performed on the slopes of a volcano. Believe it or not. In 2024, Gary Christensen from Oregon paddled 45.67 miles in a pumpkin. Believe it or not. A recent study found that penguins are skilled at power napping, taking thousands of short naps lasting only a few seconds each day. Believe it or not. Humans have fewer genes than rice. Believe it or not. There is no evidence that Viking warriors wore horns on their helmets. Believe it or not. During World War II, an Ohio rubber toy manufacturer made gas masks for civilians, including a children's model designed to look like Mickey Mouse. Believe it or not. In 1970, a woman sued God for $100,000, accusing him of negligence for allowing a lightning bolt to burn down her home. Believe it or not. In 1967, Paul McCartney led a stranger, claiming to be Jesus Christ, to sit in on a Beatles recording session, saying, "Well, he probably isn't, but if he is, I'm not going to be the one to turn him away." Believe it or not. Avalanches on desert dunes can result in a phenomenon known as singing sand, an eerie, almost musical sound that has haunted travelers for centuries. Believe it or not. In Montana, you can marry without either member of the couple actually being there. Known as a double proxy marriage, it requires a party present for both members of the couple. Believe it or not. Warranty void if removed stickers have been illegal in the U.S. since 1975. Believe it or not. In 2022, the human population reached 8 billion. Believe it or not. When the CIA joined Twitter, now called X, their first tweet said, "We can neither confirm nor deny that this is our first tweet." Believe it or not. 8% of people pronounce Wi-Fi as Wi-Fi. Believe it or not. People are more likely to grant favors if you speak into their right ear. Believe it or not. You can't sneeze while in deep sleep. Believe it or not. Texas is home to Undisputable Cuz, a 75-foot-long barbecue smoker that weighs 40 tons, has 7 smokestacks for ventilation, and can cook 4 tons of meat at a time. Believe it or not. Australia is the only country that's also a continent. Believe it or not. A single 2x2 Lego brick can support 375,000 of the toy bricks, reaching 217 miles high before breaking. Believe it or not. I worry about ridiculous things, you know. How does a guy who drives a snowplow get to work in the morning? That can keep me awake for days. I rang up AT&T and said, I want to report a nuisance caller. He said, not you again. Life is like a box of chocolates. It doesn't last long if you're fat. My star sign is Pyrex. I was a test tube baby. I always take my wife morning tea in my pajamas. But is she grateful? Nah. She said she'd rather have it in a cup. A man walks into a drugstore and says, "Can I have a bar of soap, please?" The druggist says, "Do you want it scented?" The man says, "No, I'll take it with me now." Do you know what I love most about baseball? The pine tar, the resin, the grass, the dirt. And that's just in the hot dogs. I'm learning the hokey pokey. Not all of it, but I've got the ins and the outs. I sent my girlfriend a huge pile of snow. I rang her up and I said, "Did you get my drift?" Last year I had a great joke about inflation, but it's hardly worth it now. I think Bigfoot is blurry. That's the problem. It's not the photographer's fault. Bigfoot is blurry. And that's extra scary to me, 'cause there's a large out-of-focus monster roaming the countryside. My neighbor has a circular driveway. He can't get out. I went to get a full-body tattoo of myself, but taller. I used to work at a fire hydrant factory. You couldn't park anywhere near the place. Velcro. What a ripoff. Did you know protons have mass? I didn't even know they were Catholic. How did we know communism was doomed from the beginning? Well, all the red flags. I knew this guy who compulsively stole seaweed. Turned out he was a kleptomaniac. I knew kids who were suspended at school for playing cops and robbers on the playground. The kids who were cops were suspended with pay, though. If a word in the dictionary were misspelled, how would we know? While his parents beamed, little Tommy Lundquist, future developer, surveyed the view from his newly constructed treehouse. Hey man, I just stabbed a thumb in a sewing incident and I need to lay low for a while. Can you help me out? Sure. I know of a haystack on the edge of town where you'll be safe till the heat dies down. Like frozen sentries of the Serengeti, the century-old termite mounds have withstood all tests of time and foe. All tests, that is, except for the one involving drunken aardvarks and a stolen wrecking ball. It didn't take much to upset Miss Stigler. I have had it with the way you comb your hair, young man. Stand in the corner. Put it back in the rock, Barbara. You couldn't even slice a tomato with that old thing. The Kongs at home. Not that hand, the other hand. And if you've got another woman in it, you're dog meat. Alphabet soup of ancient Egypt. Well, wouldn't you know it, we've come all this way to our favorite beach, and someone strung chicken wire around it. I'm going swearing now. Have fun. Hope you find time for a little golf, too. Every hour on the hour, a huge truck, made entirely of pressed ham, lumbers its way across dog heaven, and all the car chasers can decide for themselves whether or not to participate. Excuse our excitement, Mr. Farnsworth, but your cries for help have afforded science a rare opportunity. I wish I could fly, but some species just aren't meant to. Right, guys? Guys? It's New Year's. What's your resolution? Same as always. 1024 by 768. Big Bob says he's getting tired of you saying he doesn't really exist. Northern Canadian cowboys. Hey, didn't I tell you a week ago to be out of town by sundown? Yep, but sundown ain't for another 3 months. You know, when you get up here, the northern lights are much less impressive. Oh, Randy, wakey wakeys, You're doing a triple bypass on Miss Pacala at 8:30. Remember? Out of bed, Mr. Lazybones. Frosty, you went out and got plowed again, didn't you?
Whenever I open up, I get dumped on.
It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining and Zog had just finished washing his new invention. Didn't expect to be here today, eh? Hey, life's full of surprises. I mean, I didn't expect to wake up this morning with an overwhelming craving for sausage and mushroom. But there you go. Helpful hints for the jungle traveler. Never drag your hand in piranha-infested waters. Winter Wonderland. I wonder if I'll slip.
I wonder if I'll have school.
I wonder if my car will start. Artificial intransigent.
I don't want to play opera music, and you can't make me.
Some historians theorize that the Sphinx's nose was actually severed by Egyptian mobsters, and, in an act of defiance, delivered to an unpopular pharaoh. General, quick, look! Henderson's doing it again! Whom? Of all the owls in this forest, I hook up with an English teacher. Cat Obedience School graduation.
Don't you know what a wok is? A wok is what you throw at a wabbit when you don't have a rifle.
Be careful when you eat at Salmonella's Diner. Never did find out what the knights in white sat in. Weather station. Coconut moving. Windy. Coconut still. Calm. Coconut wet. Rainy. Coconut dry. Sunny. Coconut white. Snow. Coconut invisible. Fog. Coconut gone. Hurricane. And that concludes another Opa's Corner.
Mein Hut, der hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat nicht 3 Ecken, dann ist es nicht mein Hut.
Opa's Corner is now available on my own YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe.